Ain't no one in the NFL better than me.
Let's jump into Fluke for real, Wes, because it's the very last Fluke for real of 2024. Good guys, a couple of them. Did some bad guys. And light list here, just 6 guys we're here to talk about today, but guys that we think people that are in the championship are going to be considering. And so we need to break down some performances here, starting out with Tyjae Spears with 21.6 fantasy points, follows up his 2-touchdown week last week with another 2 touchdowns this week. I don't know if they're just seeing what they have in Spears because there's not much left in the year anyways, or if the Pollard injury is really weighing him down a lot. But, I mean, it seems like Tyjae is going to be the lead back, or at least the primary option for touchdowns. I mean, he also had 4 targets. So, again, I don't know if you're rolling out Tyjae, but, I mean, maybe in dynasty leagues, like I think he's a safe flex. I mean, he's at over 20 fantasy points in each of the last 2 weeks. I think he's a fine option. What do you think?
I think there is a real strong high risk, high reward with Tyjae Spears in the flex option. I like it. I can be convinced to start him in the flex option. And I see it too. I think Tony Pollard just did not pan out in Tennessee. We saw some nice opportunities at the start of the year for him. And then, of course, last season with the Cowboys, he just wasn't the guy that he was when he was behind a good Ezekiel Elliott. Tyjae, we were really excited about to take over for Derrick Henry. They brought in Pollard and it just didn't work out. But this I absolutely see as a real scenario to start Tyjae Spears in the championship in your flex option. Or I mean, if you just lucked out and you just have running back injuries and you need to take, maybe you got one of these running backs later on our list here for the bad side. Tyjae, I would start over probably any of these other running backs. We only got 2 more on this list, but yeah, I can be convinced to start him. I say for real.
Man, that sucks. Pollard was having such a good year to start the year. Like his first half of the season was so exciting for fantasy.
Very
RB12,
consistent.
RB18, 14. He wasn't like that top 10 guy, but he had the, 12, 18, 14, 15, 22, 12. Like he was a really solid pick going late in drafts. And then he hasn't been, it's just not been great. I think he is just way more hurt than we are aware of. And he's been hurt all year. So yeah, Tyjae is a fine option in your championship weekend if you need a flex play. Deebo Samuel. Who played this guy? Am I right? I did in a dynasty league. I did. I so firmly did not believe in Patrick Taylor Jr. I thought the opportunity would be there for Deebo after so many down games. And honestly, I was like, it's the Dolphins. It's my favorite football team. Of course Deebo's going to get his mojo back against Miami. 25.1 fantasy points, 7 catches, 9 targets, and a touchdown. He also had 5 carries for 25 yards, so averaging 5 yards a carry. Looked nice there. It felt like Deebo of old, but flash in the pan. I mean, don't risk it here with especially if Garendo's back. I would consider it if we get to the point where it's like Garendo's not playing and it's still Patrick Taylor Jr., but I just don't. I'm not going to chase after 1 week, I don't think.
I agree. I would consider starting Deebo Samuel in the finals to win the championship if I was the 6th seed with the fewest points scored and I just kept winning my way to the championship because I have the least points scored against me and I'm just going to try something. Like there is so little reason.
So if you're in that scenario,
maybe go for it. High risk, high reward. See what happens. Go big or go home with Deebo Samuel, who we've said is probably his last year in San Francisco.
Yeah, that's also reality. Is maybe it's like they're not playing for the playoffs anymore. It's his last year in San Francisco. Maybe they just work him to the bone, and maybe that's it.
But give us a second-round pick for him.
Like it wouldn't surprise me if Deebo was like a top 20 wide receiver next week, but if that was the instance and we end up looking at that game and going, oh yeah, that's what they end up doing. But I'm not chasing the points, especially in the championship.
Never mind.
Yeah. All right. On to some big guys. Let's talk about the big guys. Don't copyright us, Billy. Hey, Cooper Kupp. Oh man. Is it over? I don't want to overreact, but it's like 2. He's had 6 targets in the last 2 weeks. Like the game was weird against. Is it a circumstance of it was 2 weird games? I don't know.
Because I feel like Matthew Stafford could have been in this section as well for the bad side,
Sure.
but no one's like really thinking about Matthew Stafford too much. So I think,
you know what?
I think it's
Fluke. I'm calling Fluke.
You're gonna go Fluke on this?
I am gonna go Fluke on this.
Man.
I think it was 2 really weird games. Puka had a down game for his standards too. He was still scored in the teens, but like, what a weird game. And like,
another weird
and like the
one.
week before, it was the super strange like rain game against San Francisco. The target share concerns me. And if I'm being honest, I've been watching him and he doesn't look like he's fully healthy. He looks like he's playing through something. But I can't imagine if I've gotten to the championship. I don't know. He won't be in my top 10 this week. And there'll be I don't know. That's tough. He's probably going to be like a back end wide receiver 2 when I look at my rankings and when I'm looking at things. So like, I think I'll finish around like wide receiver 20, wide receiver 24, like that sort of thing. But like that's still a playable player in fantasy. Like I know Cooper Kupp. I know who he is. I know who he's been with Matthew Stafford. He's a couple games removed from like a great game. And being awesome. But it's sure. I know it's scary. I don't want to get too confident in my calls. Like Jane Daniels, we were there, but like it's more sad for me than anything because it's the Avatar meme where it's like when we needed him most, he vanished. Like it's that whole thing. It's like I just don't know what we should do.
So here's I'll just do one scenario, and then we'll just have people ask us in the questions if they should start Cooper Kupp or this person. Ask us in the comment section or just join our Discord because we've been talking about Kupp for weeks now.
Yeah.
I've got 4 wide receivers. You can only start 3. This is one of my dynasty teams, okay? So this is an actual situation, okay? Cooper Kupp, start 3, bench 1. Cooper Kupp, Devonta Smith, Malik Neighbors, or Xavier Legette healthy.
I'd still play him. I'd play him over Legette.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah, I would. He's been a player in the league for a while. It's been great. It depends on the health of Jalen Hurts, I think. But also, Devontae had he had a lot of targets. Obviously, he dropped the biggest one, but he was getting stuff over the middle. But no, I think of those 4, I think I'd go Kupp, Neighbors, Devontae. I don't think Legette. I don't think it's going to be. I haven't seen enough to feel confident. More confident there.
Swinging it, dude.
QB2 on the week, dude. What a stud. Yeah. That was crazy.
Speaking of dynasty, I made trades like crazy to get Bryce Young, and I got him. As soon as he was benched in week 3, I was like, give me Bryce Young. Eventually, he's going to do something, and oh my gosh, 30 points.
He might have played his way into being able to stick around. I hope so.
Let's go.
I think he will. Yeah. Okay. That's Cooper. So Cooper Kupp. What are we? We're still rolling him out?
I think we're in disagreement as far as Fluke for real. I can't start him after 2 these bad points, but I can understand if you've made it with him and you have no other, you've no better option than obviously. But if you got 4 great wide receivers and Kupp is one of them, I can see you benching him.
Jalen McMillan or Cooper Kupp?
McMillan, man, I got to be honest. McMillan's on fire.
Yeah, yes. with Tampa needing to win out to be able to make playoffs.
After the Rachaad White fumble to lose to the Cowboys, and they got to win. And the Falcons defense just destroy the Giants, and now they got to try to. I mean, they may not make playoffs now. Yeah, McMillan is the playoff hero of this season. I'm starting McMillan over Cooper Kupp.
Fair. Okay, Jerry Jeudy, for real. Sorry, we're gonna go quick on that one because Jameis is gone. Sorry, Jerry. I'm glad you enjoyed a few games of success in your career. All right. Tony Pollard. We mentioned Tyjae Spears. We're feeling this is for real. I mean, this injury is looking tough, and it's not great. So we'll see what happens. But that's probably for real. Not much to play for in Tennessee. They'll probably see what they have in the second-year guy. And then the last guy here, Brian Robinson Jr., Wes, 2.1 points because he fumbled like twice. At one point, he was like -2 points. It was terrible.
Rough.
It was horrible. And then we know the matchup was bad, but that was really, really bad. Who do they? So hang on, real quick.
They play the Falcons.
Okay.
And that Falcons defense was hot.
They've been really good over the last few weeks. Yeah, I probably
the Giants are worse offensively than the Commanders, obviously, but
yeah,
you got two touchdowns. Of Brian,
I don't know. There's part of me that's like Cliff is going to want him to have a bounce back game, so he's going to give him some goal line carries, and maybe he scores 2 touchdowns in this game. But because of where Brian Robinson's ADP was, you probably have a better option. So I think it's just probably for real. I wouldn't play him in the championship.
I think for real as well, because I also see that Robinson's only scored over 15 points 3 times all season, and he's been hurt a lot too, and the injury proneness, and full PPR.
Have those been really good games? Because it felt like he was like a solid back this year.
Dude, he scored 2 touchdowns in week 5 and still didn't even get 14 points. It's crazy.
Oh my word!
He's actually
Brain Robinson.
Brain Robinson. No wrinkles on this Brain Robinson. Smooth guy.
Sucks. Not as great as he's been the RB2 kind of, 17, 14, 13, 13, 20, 14, 17. He's like perfectly like a mid contributor for your team. Like he's not a game breaker, but it's championship week. Go big or go home.
Championship week.
I think you take him out. Yeah.